Hey, you guys, let's have a Friday night ramble chat video and have some fun with chewing gum because today on Friday, the filming of this video, it's National Chewing Gum Day. Here's the chewing gum. I'm chewing, by the way. Extra chocolate chip mint. Now they call it sugar-free gum. Reminder to turn down your contrast, your brightness on your device, so it won't be so bright in your room. Maybe if it's not so bright in your room, you can fall asleep quicker and easier, and perhaps you can be the winner in an ongoing challenge. First one falls asleep wins. So National Chewing Gum Day this year, Friday, September 30th. I'll post a link to the information in the show more description box below. And the photo they have has a image of a lady like blowing a bubble with bubble gum, so it's confusing there. There really is a distinction between bubble gum and chewing gum, my opinion. So here we are with the extra stick of gum, and when I got it on Walmart, it comes like in this 3-pack. So 1, 2, 3. There's something inside these packs. I don't know what they are really, but I also have, maybe I'll try the sweet watermelon, but you guys know me and my disgust. Everything that says watermelon, I'm never happy. Oh, there's that. And then there's the spearmint, extra spearmint. And I had some, this is Wrigley's, was it Big Red? Is Big Red a Wrigley's item? I can't find a package for the Big Red. I'll start off on a little story time. I've shared this before, but it's such a loving childhood memory of mine. Back in the day, these Wrigley's chewing gum came in a green, yellow, and white stick package. You know, it was like 3 or 4 inches wide or long, or like an inch high, with maybe a 1/4 of an inch wide. And they'd stick 5 or 7 pieces of sticks of gum in there. But that's all we had. I didn't really get into the Bazooka bubble gum till like junior high, when I started playing city girls' city softball league. And my mom, bless her heart, my mom, my grandma, my aunts, they all had the same little fun little characteristics. They always carried a huge big purse, except grandma. My grandma kind of had like a little pocketbook or a little something that she'd hold close to her, like the grandma on Sophia on Golden Girls. And my mom would always have Wrigley's chewing gum in her purse, always. And a big family event for us. Grew up in the east far side of Simi Valley, and all the relatives, grandma, grandpa, cousins, they all lived over in LA area, East LA, Downey, Bell. So it was a big occasion when we would go there, because they'd all come to see us at grandma's house. Big deal. And it was a big trip. Back then, they didn't have the 118 freeway, the Ronald Reagan freeway, which today goes from Simi Valley connects you right to the 405. You had to go the back way, which was up the Rocky Peak Pass Road, over into the valley. Yes, the San Fernando Valley girl, of which I can really call Loretta a valley girl, because there was a short time in her life when she lived over in the valley. I have to get the details on that and share it in a phone call on the phone with Loretta, but it would usually, we would just gauge an hour to get there, an hour to come back. And my mom, bless her heart, she always had the same routine. She would always be last to get in the car. My dad would be first. He'd get in the car, warm it up. Back then, my parents always warmed up their vehicles. I don't think anybody does that anymore. They'd always warm it up, and they'd leave the key in the ignition. They'd come in the house, say, okay, we're ready to go. It was every day they drove us to school. And they'd get the engine running, they warmed the car up. And so going to grandma's was, there we were, all in the car, no seat belts. We had a 69 Ford Econoline van, I'll never forget, no seat belts. My dad had put in one of those wide seats he got from a junkyard or somewhere, a real nice, huge station wagon seat. And there we were. And when Mom would come in, we knew, okay, we're just about ready to go. And the second my mom would shut the door, my dad would immediately put one reverse, and my mom would always have to say, can you wait a minute? That's hysterical, the difference between Mom and Dad. And she'd open her purse, and she'd turn around, and she'd always say, you want a stick of gum? There was something about hearing a stick of gum that was so much more exciting than when she said, do you want some gum? And so she'd grab in her purse, she'd unwrap it, and she'd turn to us holding it, and we'd each get our own stick out. That was such a treat. And then she'd go back in her purse, and she always did this. How do you do your fingernails when you're driving in the car? She always did her fingernails on that trip to Grandma and Grandpa's house. But of course, she never had like an outrageous color. She either had the clear nail polish or the somewhat clear. It had like a white pearl shade to it. So you really couldn't, mess up your fingernails that much. But she had every tool to do that. She had her thing for her fingernails, the color. She had an emery board. She had a cuticle thing, cuticle stick. And she even had Q-tips, which I'm guessing she used to smudge the color off if a little bit of color had gone on her skin. Anyways, when I see Wrigley's Spearmint or Double Mint, I think it was called Wrigley's Fruit. Forgot what the third flavor was. What a treat. And like I said, that was our gum all through grammar school, unless you went to like the shopping mall or somewhere where they had the gum in the, put in a quarter, turn the machine, and candy would come out. I really don't remember those gumballs being there till later in life, but well, it was pretty much the only gum we had, which to this day I categorize as chewing gum. Now look at this. Before Wrigley's chewing gum, I think my mom and all her side of the family, they must have been chewing gum aficionados, because she also had these other flavors of gum that I would see, but they were never offered to us. It was like it was her gum. I know you've all seen these blackjacks. See, this is the original little package that Wrigley's gum used to come in. My brother had done something for my mom. It was a special birthday of hers, and he went to the candy store online and got all these fun little gums and candies and fruit chews from when she was a kid. She was born in the 30s, so maybe these were from the 50s. But of course, blackjack. It's fun. Beeman's. It says chewing gum. See, I'm excited. Beeman, chewing gum. Chewing gum. Blackjack, chewing gum. And Clove, chewing gum. I wonder if they just changed it and made it, that red, big red chewing gum. And I'd like to see an original. See, this is Wrigley's Double Mint gum. 15 sticks of gum. I wonder if on those small packages it says chewing gum. So we've got chewing gum. We have the packages that just say gum. We have a lot of things that say sugar-free gum, but they're missing the word chewing gum. Sugar-free gum. And of course, like Big League Chew, it says right on their bubble gum. Well, how many of us get these things, these chews? Mentos gum. Again, it says sugar-free gum. These are these little chews. It just says gum. And of course, these are always a fan favorite, these ice cubes. And what do they say? They say gum, sugar-free gum, excuse me, sugar-free gum. So, and of course bubble gum. I already mentioned Big League Chew says it. Buyer beware, this Big Rally, the blue raspberry, does have a nice taste. But the food coloring or whatever, the artificial whatever, is so bad, it will turn your whole mouth and tongue and outside of your lips blue. So you have to be careful. I've thought of chewing this during a video, but I always hesitate because it turns everything blue. Alright, so if you'd like to, share an old memory with an elderly relative or friend or somebody in your life, like I said, these are gums. They may have been popular in the 50s. You can research them online. Amazon may have them. You may want to go to like a candy store online where you'll find the chewing gum and also some candy from back in the day. Now, remember yesterday, Thursday, was National Coffee Day, and I shared a little story time about coffee and how the coffee presentation to customers drastically changed. How back in the day you had a normal little 6 or 8 ounce coffee cup, right? Well, let me show you. This was part of our china, or I guess not china, but our dishware. My husband and I got married, and it came with coffee cup and saucer and all the other pieces, like a piece setting. I don't think this is a full 8 ounce. I think this might be a 6 ounce. But I thought nothing of like serving somebody coffee in this if they came over. And around the same time, my husband had gotten this, and you'll see the difference. This may be the 8 ounce. And he loved this because he's a Sears and Roebuck employee. I think he began there in the early 60s, possibly the late 50s, because he graduated in 1956. And he got this. Okay. So this was like the bigger cup of the day. Now, you know, I've been using my Golden Girl look. Like, the whole everything. The diameter, the height, I'm going to say it's double. So this was around the late 80s, maybe early 90s. Then I specifically remember this one. This was 2004. I had a daughter graduate from college in 2004. So again, it got a little bit taller, maybe a little bit wider. Do I have some Gatorade in there? Looks like I have Gatorade in there. About the same diameter, but it started getting taller in the early 2000s. So here we are. With this in 2022. So just to recap, if you're having trouble sleeping, you might want to take a look at how many ounces of coffee you're drinking. Anyways, okay, so that was chewing gum in our lives. Then junior high comes along, where I began my Bazooka bubblegum addiction. And I do remember Bazooka bubblegum in grammar school, but I didn't have an easy access to it like I did in junior high. We'd get like bubblegum in our Easter baskets and Halloween, you know, the off-brands. And so then in junior high, I played city girls softball for 2 years, made the all-star team both years. And for one of those years, my mom was like the assistant chaperone. She was in charge of the goodies. And she had no problem with stopping real quick at 7-Eleven before the game and let me run in and get some goodies. She'd have the drinks and stuff. And every once in a while, she'd say, "Oh, get this," or "Get a bag of cookies," or something. I would stock up on the Bazooka bubblegum, and they really were 1 penny, like a square piece of Bazooka bubblegum for 1 penny. But it was a close, sunflower seeds, the David sunflower seeds were a close second to the Bazooka bubblegum. So that went all through junior high with softball, and then, you know, off and on through high school, but I don't remember, you know, specifics until I started commuting. I grew up, moved to Santa Barbara, got married, though my husband lived in Simi Valley. There was a handful of years there that I was commuting. And always had a bag full of Bazooka bubblegum. I worked the night shift, and I needed it. It was an hour drive home at night, and I needed it. Like I had mentioned in another video, I did 3 things. If I had a hard time keeping myself awake on the drive home, I had the windows rolled down. I chewed bubblegum after bubblegum after bubblegum. As soon as it's lost its taste, I'd get a new piece of bubblegum. And biting my fingernails, that was terrible. So, then, just throughout the years, so that kind of ended in the early 2000s. And then here we are at 2022. And I guess I'd have to say in 2015, when I started my YouTube channel, was when gum became fun for me again. I was just new to the ASMR community. So many people were requesting chewing gum, and blowing bubbles and bubble gum. And it was really a happy place for me, because I thought, oh my goodness, my mom did not appreciate me snapping and chewing with the big bubble gum. So my bubblegum addiction was just kind of myself. My husband did enjoy gum, not the bubblegum. He enjoyed chewing gum. So that was fun to have like somebody who understood gum, enjoyed gum. And I had a nice sound when he did chew gum. For a while there, he started carrying Tic Tacs. We all know Tic Tacs make a sound. When you walk, you can hear the Tic Tacs jingle in your pocket. That bothered me so bad. But his career changed. He got into real estate and felt that chewing gum wasn't the realtor profile when dealing with clients. He did want fresh breath, and of course something that he might be able to offer to the clients. Just when Tic Tacs came along, so I pretty much poo-pooed that when he would come through the front door. You know, and you have a little thing by the front door where you can put your purse or your keys. It was mainly for me, but for him, I had this one little place in a little table by the front door for Tic Tacs, because it was just more relaxing hearing him in the house without the Tic Tacs making their noise. So, the one YouTuber, Mouse, I've mentioned her before, was the very first one who I felt comfortable about really doing a bubblegum. What is her name? Mouse. Something Mouse. Forgot what country she's from. Very nice ASMR channel, though I don't know that she's been uploading recently. Is it Mouse Whispers? I'm gonna see if I can remember to maybe make a link to her channel. But it was a combination of gum chewing and page turning, which many times I find I do this off camera, and then I think to myself, I can't believe I sat here for a whole 40 minutes in the quiet by myself, and I don't do it to make a video. It's very relaxing, gum chewing, gentle page turning, or Lay's potato chips and page turning. But anyways, There's that. I don't know. What else should we talk about? Oh, you would think between my husband and myself, such gun fanatics. He was not the fanatic like I was. He just enjoyed it. And I'm kind of proud of myself. I've been able to go through to this part of the video with just one stick. Let me try the watermelon extra long-lasting flavor, sweet watermelon. Let's try that. I think I did like this watermelon. A little bit. So maybe there's 2 watermelon flavored items I like them. Extra sweet watermelon gum and that Mountain Dew watermelon. So the big news is still a hurricane that I think dropped down to a tornado, but it's back to a hurricane. So, well, all wishes us a recovery for everybody and safety. And we're thinking about you. And is it still going up in the south of North Carolina? It's one thing I have to say about Southern California. Yes, we have earthquakes, but it comes and goes. Boom, boom, and you're done. But the thought of living your life watching this terrible weather coming to you, and you have to escape it, you have to make a move. Honestly, I'd rather just have the quick earthquake. I can't imagine me if there's a hurricane coming. We've got 3 days. Those will be the worst 3 days of my life. Probably worse so than the actual hurricane, but and then, have you guys heard of a hypercane? There was some YouTuber who said, correction, hypercane, not a hurricane, which was hypercane. He said was a registered wind at 219 miles per hour. Now, I don't know where they got that number, unless it was, I do believe they mentioned 2,200 feet above land. And is that what those storm chasers got stuck in? They were flying something that looked like an airplane, but it really wasn't an airplane, and said that was the worst they had ever experienced. So, is there such a thing as a hypercane? And why did they not even talk about the 200-mile-an-hour winds, unless it never came down to the ground? And is that what every hurricane is? Like when they say, okay, hurricane's coming at 60 or 70 miles an hour. Is that the wind that's going to touch the ground? And is it a fact that the wind up 2,100 more feet? It was like double that. So another thing I can research in my spare time, off camera. So that was something. I feel bad. I feel bad that the news, still, they go up to people. I just feel bad about this. I don't think I could do it. You see these people. How do you feel after they're a can? I just don't think that's nice, but I don't know. I think if I was the news person, and if I had to do that, and that would be my job, I would somehow say, just know we're all rooting for you, and we're so sorry to go through that. I don't think I'd ask the question, how do you feel? I would say, is there something you'd like to share with our viewers, and let your family and friends know you're okay? I would probably start the conversation off that way. And then the other little news blurb was America telling Americans to evacuate Russia immediately. Now, it wasn't on the TV news, but it was in like all the YouTube news things. They reiterated without U.S. government assistance. So, what's up with that? They referred back to the Afghanistan debacle. So that's a little disheartening, but same hand, I think there's been little subliminal warnings back in February when Russia started all this. So honestly, I think people should have gotten out back then, but I know we're all different. I more than likely would have been gone by then. But in case people were thinking they're going to wait till our government says to evacuate, and then if they say it, they're expected to get us out. But I would never wait on somebody to get me out. But to see that in print was very unsettling, with no government assistance. That was kind of news that popped up. Oh, and there's another news question. I don't know if you caught it, but the ABC World News guy, my husband loves that show. And if we can't get the ABC guy, we'll get the Channel 4 guy, NBC guy. But we always record it ahead of time. Very rarely do we watch a show. The commercials have become so imposing. Very rarely do we watch. Even the morning news now, I record it. I have it set to record the morning news. Like when it starts 4, 5, 6, and 7 o'clock in the morning. So that when we're up and ready to watch the news, we're watching the one it's already recorded and speed through the commercials, because the fact is, unless it's breaking news that we're already going to know about from internet, or they'll come blaring over the TV, every news hour is the same. 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, they just repeat the exact same news, and they fill it with tons of weather, local weather. So anyways, World News guy, I think his name's David somebody, watching him for so long, I can't even remember his name. It's terrible. Near the end, he said, we're going to have information of the Queen and the cause of death. That's written on her death certificate. They never said a word. And my husband and I and my daughter were all bated breath waiting. How did she die? How did she die? You know, this is terrible. We're creating our terrible scenarios like a tragic accident, because we did see that she was just fine a day or two when she did that little ceremony with, what's her name, Liz Truss, can't remember. So it was kind of hard to believe that, you know, a day or two after she's dead. So my daughter says, this is a banana peel. And I chuckle, it's not nice to, yeah. And then I said, you know, it could have been a lot of elderly people have slips, trips, and falls, and they die. So we were making up all these terrible things. And when they came back, they never followed up on it. I wonder if the guy, when he finally read what the reason was, he was disgusted, or the news station was disgusted, because it was simply old age. And for whatever reason, they edited it out. They left in the part that says, when we come back, I will reveal to you the real cause of death listed on Queen Elizabeth's certificate. My daughter must have ran back in slow motion and everything. She said, Mom, it's a conspiracy. They're not telling you. I said, oh, it can't be. It has to be somewhere bigger than beans. It's in print on the internet. And they say she just died of old age. But it was just odd. I've never seen them talk about, we're going to talk about something, and then when they come back, they don't. And probably the other. Again, shocking realization of higher prices. Two things. We're in Southern California. I think now gas is $7 a gallon. 2 or 3 nights ago, the gas prices jumped 12 to 14 cents. That's a lot. And then last night, I heard that it jumped so much, and I don't know the actual amount of how much it jumped, but they were showing all these gas stations, you know, their billboards. One said $7.99, one said 7 something. That's a lot. So of course I'm just thinking that they're making the prices high because of that gas, spooky gas pipeline that got destroyed, however that happened. And so there's that with the gas. And that's just hard. So you figure if you were spending $5 a gallon, let's just say you had 10 gallons. I know a lot of cars have more than 10 gallons. That's $50. So now, if it's at 7, I think it is, 5 times 10 is 50. 7 times 10 is 70. That's a lot. So there's that. And just today, I was on Walmart. And you guys, I know many people do not approve of Walmart and don't shop Walmart. But if you're willing to, for a short time, to get through the pinch, high prices, honestly, Walmart has even Ralph's Kroger prices beat. I'm not sure about Aldi. You would have to do your own comparison with Aldi, but a lot of times I find I can't find the item I want at Aldi. I wanted to get a 24-pack or a 12-pack of Coca-Cola cans. We have landscapers. Once a week they come. They're prepaid at the beginning of the month, but I always like to have something for them to drink a little cooler. And figured out that their drink of choice is old-fashioned straight Coca-Cola. So, I used to rave about Walmart. I used to get the 24-pack for $7 or $8 something. Then I saw it slowly creeping up to $8 or $9 to $10. You guys, I got the 12-pack for $8, I think. And that's what the 24-pack used to be sold for months ago. Maybe last year, maybe a year and a half. That's a big deal. So again, if you can just bite the bullet during the pinch and shop Walmart on individual items. I mentioned it before, the Great Value brand almond milk is now $2.20 something. It used to be $1.90 something. One item. The little meat packages of the buttock, turkey, and chicken, 30 cents on one item. It used to be 50, not even 50 cents. Now it's 80 cents. What else is a noticeable? That just happens to be on my, like the canned corn, canned good stuff. Used to always be able to get the Great Value brand for 50 cents or less. Now, every once in a while, I see a 50-cent can, but majority of the time, it's 80 cents. So anyways, let's see. And the other might be a helpful tip, as we found this out the hard way, to save on energy costs. This might be in your area, but for Southern California, they don't want you using heater, air conditioner, washer, dryer, dishwasher. They want your lights down from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Then, if you do use it, you get charged almost, not quite double, but you really get dinged a higher fee. So you might want to be cautious of that, number one. And number two, water pressure. I didn't know there was a gauge out front for water pressure. In our area, it's supposed to be set at 60. Somehow, we found out ours was at 90 and that it could be dangerous. Well, I didn't know what that meant. So, we had the plumber come and he fixed it down to 60. But what that does is you have to run your water if you want to fill like your sink basin. It takes forever now to fill because the pressure isn't as, water's not coming out as fast. So I'm still trying to figure out what's the better energy saving. Have your faucet on max power and have it flowing out, taking 10 minutes to fill the basin, or have a high pressure and just take hardly no time to fill a basin. Or is it the same? I don't know. Still trying to figure it out. I guess we'll know the next time our water bill comes. But when we go down our list of utility bills, we usually pay at the beginning of the month. And they always show you what you used last year at the same time. So we'll be able to figure out if we're using more or less water now that the pressure has changed. And our water bill is usually 120 something, but it has 3 things in there. It has the water bill, the sanitation or sewer bill, and the trash. That's all together. Then our gas bill is really cheap, but maybe that changes in winter. Our gas bill is never like maybe $30 or less. And then all our internet, phone bill, that's like $100 a month. Phone, water, gas. Our big spooky bill is the electric bill. I can remember paying like $300 during some months. And then our cable and all our little streaming channels, I think it's like around 100. But if we add on all these extra streaming channels, obviously it's more. I have to really take the time and add up all our streaming channels. We have a lot. Obviously, Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon Prime Video. My daughter got us the Disney Plus, but then I added on through Amazon Prime. We have Paramount streaming, AMC streaming, Stars, and Epic channel streaming that at one time you got for free, but I think it was only for 3 months. I think now I'm paying separately for all 3. That might be too much money per month to spend on TV programming, but when you don't get any commercials, how much am I willing to pay for commercial-free stuff? My husband and I, we've had it with commercials. I hope you enjoyed this. This was fun tonight, Friday night. Thank you for joining me.